What's up, guys? So last week or so, I put out a poll on Reddit asking people with some ideas for videos, and then vote for one. And one that got quite a few votes was, what are your thoughts on fan fiction? And so yeah, I decided I would just talk about that for a little bit. Of course, I can say I'm going to talk about something for a little bit, and it can turn into something longer. So yeah, I want to talk about fan fiction. Just for a little bit. So yeah, I have mixed thoughts on fan fiction. There's a lot that I really like. There's a few stories that I really think are good. And I understand, but I'm kind of picky. I've actually written a few fan fiction myself because I like to do that kind of stuff. But I guess I kind of have parameters, if you call it, for fan fiction. And I mean, I understand. I don't like when they completely change the characters. Like, the plot a little bit, I don't care. But when they can change the characters. Like, for example, like the slash ones, automatically, no, not happening. I hate that. Because that's so wrong to do that. You know what I'm talking about? The dirt. Anything that's like inappropriate. No, not happening, peoples. But there are some that I really like. And I mean, I actually have discovered like which ones I really like. I really like the ones that are based like on scenes in the movie. Seeing the book, missing scenes from the movies and books. I really like that. Missing scenes from the movies more so. Like, I would definitely say some of my favorites ever is, so there's one that's written, I don't know who wrote this one. I have to hold. I'm going to look it up because I want to give credit where credit's due. So, Brother Lessons, written by Sentimental Star. Yeah, that is probably like one of my favorite fan fictions I've ever read. Partly because The Horse's Boy is like my all-time favorite of the books. One of my favorite books, just period. So seeing some expounding on some of the events like that. I like seeing Shasta and Corin, Morris brothers. That was really cool. It was really fun too. And just kind of like just the affection between the brothers is really cool. So I would recommend it. This is on fanfiction.net, by the way. So I'd say look it up. And I also am a huge fan of... I also really like because, sorry. I like the ones that have like a Christian base, and like the ones there's different communities like Christianity and Narnia or something, and they're like, these are Lewis honoring stories. I'm like, yeah, because I don't have an issue with like doing justice, doing credit to them. But if you're just doing it just like to change the characters, I don't like that, honestly. But I will. But so there's some naturally I like because they're like from my favorite, like based on some of my favorite scenes. I really like the one. So there's one called Restoration by Walton Prairie Girl. And this is a 4-chapter story, but it's like each of the siblings' perspective on the end of after the battle when Edmund's been stabbed, and they're all, they're all with him. And like the description of this says, the family restoration at the end of the battle in the Witch and the Wardrobe has always been one of my favorites, if not my absolute favorite scene of the entire trilogy. Here's a scene from each sibling's point of view with a little something extra. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I share those thoughts so much. Because, yeah, that's like my favorite, one of my favorite scenes in the trilogy period. I just think as a whole, yeah, the first one is superior to any of the other movies by like a lot. Just better written, better done. And we get to see more like involve everything with the family, and they do that really well. I also liked, there's another author that I really like, one of my friends who's a huge Narnia fan and huge fanfiction fan, pointed out to me, called Willow Dryad. She doesn't have as many stories as I wish she did because she's such a good writer. I really like her stories. She doesn't have as many Narnia related stories. She has quite a few, but she writes some really good ones. And this one, that in particular, At the Sound of His Roar, is actually based on, what chapter is in Acts? I can't remember, but where Paul and Barnabas are imprisoned in no, not Paul Barnabas, Paul and Silas. Goodness, I guess I flung Sunday school today. Paul and Silas are in prison, and they're just talking about, and they have been beaten, and they decide to start praising, and it's kind of based on that, but it's Peter in prison in Tashbaan because of like a mistaken identity thing. I don't remember the whole story. I just remember really loving that story. And then, so yes. And I will say, like, there's some where it's like, I don't necessarily read the whole story. I just, like, there's parts of it that I really like, because sometimes just like, okay, this is whatever. And I think I will say, too, I had a conversation with my friend one time talking about food. Okay, stick with me for a second. And he's like, if I go to a McDonald's and get a burger, I'll think it's fantastic. But if I got a burger like that at a regular restaurant, I think it was awful because you have a different expectation. So yeah, so if I was reading a book with like some of this writing, I think this is pretty dumb and not good. But because of what it is, it's fine. So I actually have written, like I said, I've written a few stories. Because I like to write. I genuinely love to write. Love to write. I don't know if I decide how much I like it, but I'm not. Sometimes I get stuck. So I wanted to kind of get used to the idea of writing. So I actually wrote like some of these fan fictions. And I have ideas for fan fiction sometimes about like this and like Adam 12 and stuff like that. And then I sit down to actually write it, and the blinking cursor says, I don't think you're writing today. It's so overwhelming. So yeah, I have written a few. So yeah, I think one of my favorites. So one thing I wrote, like, I remember, I actually wrote this. I wrote a whole long fan fiction, like, of the whole movie, based on the whole movie, and then, but it was too hard to post, so I pulled, like, little blinks from it. And, one thing I think about, like, one thing we don't get into a lot is, like, the relationship Peter and Susan had, and you kind of can tell they were kind of at odds. But they end up, like, kind of coming back together in the middle, like, throughout the movie. So that, I kind of wrote about, like, after the battle, where she's just, like, where she finally tells him, like, what it was like to see Aslan killed and that kind of stuff. And that was really fun to write, actually. And I liked that part. That was really cool. And then I did one also based on the scene after like Edmund's healing. Edmund's coming back to life, because again, that's one of my favorite scenes in all the movies ever. Any movie ever, I'd say. I mean, a lot of the scenes in Lord of the Rings might have to top it, but it's really good. I love this. And also it's kind of fun, like one thing I like about fanfiction is they sometimes try to take like a moment that's really subtle and like play it up, depending on the writer. So yeah, so that's really kind of just a few thoughts on fanfiction. Honestly, I don't have a lot, because like, yeah, I have parameters. If it's slash, if it's making fun of the characters in a bad humored way, it's not good. But if it's funny, I mean, I love some fanfiction that's kind of for laughs. I mean, if that's great. But yeah. So I would give Brother Lessons 10 out of 10. You really need to go check it out. And most of Willow Dry's stories that I've read, I would give like 10 out of 10 too. And yeah, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but you want to go check out mine, then yeah, go for it. It'd be fun. Yeah. So that's really cool too. I love that, doing that. And I love that. So anyway, that's my thoughts. And if you have any that you know of that are good, that like fall into these parameters, and you want to recommend it, like drop it down below, a link down below. That'd be great. I loved, and I think I might link these fanfictions down below, because someone had said, yeah, I could use some good ones to read right now. So yeah, please tell me where they are. I mean, come on. I think we're all in the boat. Well, I'm not. I actually work. I work. But I think a lot of people are like, there's nothing to do. Anyway, so yes, that is my thoughts. And that is where I'm at. So yeah. Alright. And I don't know. What are your thoughts about them? Do you have any favorites? So yeah. And please don't, so anyway, that's pretty much it. And please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!